Hey guys, just got done with this movie like 45 seconds ago. It's like almost 3 in the morning. So, I'm a tad tired. But this movie's currently streaming on Amazon Prime. I had passed over it many times. I've heard about it for years. Friends have enjoyed it or, whatnot. And I just never pulled the trigger on it. This movie is about a group of friends, two guys and a girl that go out like camping in a foreign country. The the man, there's one of the guys and the girls are getting married, and the other guy and the girl, the same girl, are having an affair behind the guy's back. They are out in a place where they said that there was once landmines and this and that, during the war. And the guy who is fucking the guy's soon to be wife steps on a landmine and he can't move, otherwise it'll blow up. And that's, basically the initial setup for the rest of the chaos that ensues. Now, this is an interesting film to review, and this might be because it's just fresh in my mind, and I just watched it, so I haven't had enough time to process it or whatnot. I'm not sure though, but I honestly don't know how I feel about the film. I don't know if I liked it or not, and I guess I'll just kind of get into that as this goes on here. But some things I liked about it, I liked the concept. You know, um, I honestly thought it was going to be much different than it was. No doubt about that. Expectations in films, though, are always bad to have. I know it's almost impossible not to have them, but I try my best to wash away any kind of expectations towards a film going in. I try to go into every movie blind as possible. The big budget type stuff, like a Star Wars movie or something like that. I usually am pretty up on the trailers and whatnot. I can't avoid them. But with smaller budget things or things that I don't know, or stuff that was recommended to me by a friend that I trust, if I haven't heard of it or if I haven't seen anything, I will go into it completely blind and then not knowing the genre, not knowing who's in it, anything. And I can't recommend doing that enough. And I mean, outside of the title of the film and a very basic premise that I pretty much gathered from the title of the film, I knew nothing about this movie. And even then, I kind of still had an expectation that it was going to be something that it was different than it was. So I did like the concept. I liked another character that then comes into it later. I thought his performance throughout was great. Now, the things that I didn't like about this movie is that I feel like the twists and turns for me personally were just too obvious. Now, I don't think that completely hurts the film or anything. Maybe I'm just kind of patting myself on the back a little too hard, being like, "Oh, you figured it out." I remember that happened with Goodnight Mommy, where the twist was so obvious to me that it actually hurt the film, to the point where I didn't like it. And I know I talked to a lot of people who figured out the ending, figured out the twist really quick, just like pretty much I can't imagine anybody not figuring it out. But, the people I did talk to who had figured it out like I did, it didn't hurt their experience, and they kind of gave me shit for disliking the movie over figuring out the ending, almost like I was being arrogant with my cleverness or something, and I was like, "Oh, fuck this film," they did, and I don't know. So with this film, I feel like the same is kind of true. I tried to not let that repeat. So when I did figure it out and it was true, I kind of was like, then just forgive it. I wasn't trying to be the Sixth Sense or anything. It's just a small little twist. I don't know if people will figure it out as easily as I did. I didn't like the guy. I didn't like the lead actor who's standing on the landmine a ton. But weirdly, and this is why my feelings are so wishy-washy right now, because the second half of the movie, or a little more than the second half, like maybe 2/3 to the way in, so the last third is takes a completely dramatic turn. And I was like, oh, okay. And then for some reason that actor was great. I thought he was really good from that point on. So very weirdly, he was very unbelievable to me. I didn't like him. He was ruining the movie for me. And then the last third, I thought he took over and gave a really great performance. So he had a shaved head in the second, or that third. And I mean, I can't imagine that's what it was. But my problem with him in the first 2/3 was that he was trying too hard to be tough and intimidating, and it just wasn't working for me. He just looked like some goofy little geek. And then later he looked intimidating. He looked psycho and whatever. So I hope it's not something as silly as he had a shaved head for me, because that sounds stupid. But I don't know. That's all I can come up with. And then he, something's going on. It's so impossible for me to talk without spoilers at this point. So, the movie gets fucking dark in spots, really dark in spots. So if you don't like super dark shit, like it goes in places I was like, oh wow, fuck, So it does hit in some dark places. So if that doesn't sound like your thing, definitely don't check it out. I'm going to talk spoilers from here on. So I think that, I don't know. I guess check it out. I could see someone totally loving it, and I could see someone totally hating it. So I do think that it is a good movie. But anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers. So from here on, if you haven't seen it, shut it off. One thing that was irritating the shit out of me was, this main character keeps just screaming and threatening this guy with a gun who could fucking kill them at any moment. And it just kept going, kept egging him on. And I know that it's impossible to dictate what your actions would be in a scenario like this. You may do something worse or dumber, or, your actions are frantic and your behavior is erratic. I get that. But as a viewer, you can't help but feel the way that you feel. And I got very annoyed with that. The rape scene. Holy shit, man. I mean, I'm not a stranger to rape scenes, and I'm pretty much unoffendable, and I can't really be shocked after seeing, August Underground and Serbian Film and the guinea pig movies. I mean, I used to watch all this shock shit. I don't care for it anymore because it just bores me. It usually is just shit. I actually like Serbian Film though. I don't know if that makes me sick. Whatever. But yeah, that rape scene was it was weird. It wasn't so much, it was uncomfortable, but in the sense where this is odd. I don't even know. Like, I almost felt bored after a while. It went on for so long. And the musical choice was so bizarre. It was almost like almost like a blend between like romantic and shocking, I guess, I don't know. I think they were trying to go for like, this is a dramatic scene and this is so horrible, but like the piano, like the slow music, and like, I don't know, it felt weird. It honestly, it felt almost, as I said, almost like romantic in a way, and that just kind of took me out of the scene. And it feels very odd to be bored during a rape scene. It just went on forever. It was like, it probably was only like a minute, but it felt like 5 fucking minutes. It just kept going and going. And it was just like, and it was just from like almost the same angle. And everything was muted and almost muffled because of the music. Just, I don't know, that scene was weird. But the main thing that pissed me off, and this is where I'm so undecided on whether or not I like the movie. I'm all about fucking revenge for, for someone who they've killed and you go after them. Trust me, I have kids. Anyone harmed them, they'd be fucking dead. But that guy's family did not deserve it. Now, that being said, this is where I'm torn, is because the guy ends up killing the daughter and regrets it immediately, which I thought was fantastic. That he, wasn't just like, ah, and kept going. And like when he pulled that trigger and she died, and, that regret on his face for like a good minute long, they just kind of got a close up of him, really hit. Like, it is like, revenge isn't so sweet. It makes you question, like, would I feel so good about it? Now, would he have had regret if he killed, the guy who fucking killed the love of his life and whatnot? I don't know. Probably not. I have no idea. I'm guessing probably not. He was obviously driven to the point of insanity. So I wouldn't hurt his family, though. Like, I just know him myself. So, but I'm not him, and I always try to take myself out. But that was where the film, because honestly, I was not super into the movie up until the guy was pushed off the landmine, and then it cuts to however long later it is. And like when he comes back for a revenge till the end, I was completely engaged the entire time. Before that, I was kind of like wishy-washy. I didn't really care for the guy's performance. The girl was annoying me a little bit. I thought that the scenes between, all three of them, the hunter and or the park ranger or whatever, was overly dramatic and pretty unbelievable in a lot of spots. So I was getting to that point where it was like, oh fuck, is this movie? I actually like clicked up on the timer and was like, oh shit, there's like 45 minutes left. Ugh. And then it takes that turn, and I was like, oh shit, like when he comes to the house with the family and all that, I was like, oh, I'm in this. I'm totally in this. But I don't know. I really liked the revenge regret, but I didn't like how he went about the revenge at all. I don't agree. I don't think the family should have been involved. I mean, maybe explain to them that he was a fucking rapist and a piece of shit so that they know their father is a fuckhead, but harming them, tying them up, making a 14, 15-year-old girl undress and end up obviously killing her. It's just fucked up, man. I don't approve of it at all. Now, that's personal feelings, but these are my personal feelings. This is my personal opinion about the film. So that really hurt the film for me. So that's my thoughts on it. Obviously, if you're watching at this point, you've seen the movie. And if you haven't, then I just ruined the whole fucking movie for you. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to stew on it for a while, but those are my thoughts for now.